Hi, Mickey Lorkowski here. I'm looking forward to working with you over the next 5 weeks. I'm doing a video today, not so much as an introduction, but just to explain some of the big picture stuff from Unit 1. As a general rule, I always like to start big picture. That's how you achieve understanding. So in Unit 1, we're learning the absolute basics of arguments. And what's important is to realize that in any argument, there's exactly two things going on. Every argument is making ultimately two claims. A claim that something is a fact, and a claim that something follows from those facts. The claimed facts are of course called premises. What's supposed to follow from it is called the conclusion. But what's more important here is that means that any argument has exactly two evaluations, not one. So your textbook calls them the logic condition and the truth condition. Some textbooks would call it something a little different, like a factual claim and inferential claim. I like our textbook much better. So, in order, first we evaluate what's called the logic condition. The logic condition is simply a question of, does the conclusion follow from the premises? It's about structure. And then the truth condition is simply, are the premises true? So let me give you perhaps a clearer example to learn these things. Suppose I made the following argument. All Republicans are space aliens. Barack Obama is a Republican. Therefore, Barack Obama is a space alien. That's an argument. And it's a bad argument, of course. You should reject the conclusion. But why should you reject the conclusion? Is it the structure? Well, here's how you check. Anytime you're checking the logic condition of an argument, all you simply ask yourself is, assuming all premises were true, would they establish the conclusion? So in this case, I would ask, assuming it were true that all Republicans were space aliens, and assuming it were true that Barack Obama was a Republican, would it follow that Barack Obama is a space alien? And the answer is, of course. What does that tell us? That tells us half of an evaluation. That tells us this argument passes the logic condition. The conclusion does follow from the premises. And that's important. A lot of what we'll be checking in this course is the logic condition, especially in Unit 3. However, this particular argument fails in what's called the truth condition, where we simply ask, are the premises true? Well, of course they're both false, and because of that, even though it makes a good inference, even though it has a good logic condition, we do indeed reject the conclusion. As such, again, emphasis, all arguments do two things. They are making an inference. They're saying that the conclusion follows from the premises. They're also saying that the premises are true. Our job as critical thinkers, as evaluators of arguments, is to ask whether the argument passes both of those conditions. And why are we doing this? Because if it doesn't pass both conditions, we have absolutely no reason to accept the conclusion. For instance, suppose somebody makes the following argument. Mickey Lorkowski, this guy, is over 6 feet tall. That's true, by the way. Therefore, the sun is the third planet from, let's try that again. The Earth is the third planet from the sun. So the argument, Mickey is over 6 feet tall. Therefore, the Earth is the third planet from the sun. Hey, the premise is true. But does the premise establish the conclusion? No, there's no clear connection there. And so every argument to be good has to do two things. The premises have to support the conclusion. The premises have to be true. If you don't meet those two conditions, the logic condition and the truth condition, you have been given no reason to accept the conclusion. And that's what's really important. And that's what we're kind of starting to edge our way into in Unit 1. So thanks for your time. And in general, if you have a question, feel free to ask it. And if I think that maybe it's a question or something a lot of people are going to be struggling with in the course, even better, because then I'll post a video about it and then everyone can see the answer as well. Thanks for your time. Bye.